Well, hello again, Western 4-H Western Heritage members. I'm Todd Kestner. I'm a Western Heritage instructor in Montana. And if you watch the 44 Winchester Central Fire video, you'll know that I wasn't particularly happy with the group that we got out of the 73 Winchester with black powder rounds. And so at the end of that video, we had about a 3-inch group. And it was okay, but I wasn't particularly thrilled about it. Thought we'd try something new. So that's what we're going to do today. I've loaded up some different bullet for this 4440 that we call it today. And we're going to give this a try and see if we can get ourselves a little bit better of a group. The last bullet that I tried had 2 grease grooves in it, and so I've got an example here in the table, and we'll show you a close-up here in a second. I've got an example on the table. This is actually a 36 caliber bullet for a 1851 Navy Colt cap and ball revolver, but you can, when I show you the photo, you'll see the 2 grooves on that bullet that are filled with grease. The new 4440 bullet that I'm trying today only has 1 grease lube, and what the grease does in a black powder cartridge is that when that cartridge goes off, that grease will evaporate and vaporize and head down the barrel, and it coats the barrel with a nice layer of lubricant, and when the black powder then lands on that lubricant, it keeps that black powder fouling that's left behind soft. So I can shoot multiple times if I have enough bullet lube to allow me to do that. If I don't have enough bullet lube, then the black powder gets extremely chalky. The fouling that's left behind gets extremely chalky, and it gets to chalky enough and fills the barrel bad enough that you completely destroy your accuracy. The last bullet that I had in this rifle that shot about a 3-inch group on video had 2 grease grooves. I had no problem whatsoever having that grease make it all the way to the end of the barrel and lubricate the entire barrel. This particular gun is the Cimarron 73 Winchester that they call the long range, and it's got a 30-inch barrel on it, and so I'm a little concerned that 1 grease groove, even though it's a wide grease groove, 1 grease groove is not going to be enough to get that lubricant all the way to the end of the barrel. So we'll try this bullet and see if our accuracy goes to pieces. We've probably got a good idea what's going on. I've got 3 different loads. I'm going to try this new bullet with the GoX, 36 grains of double F GoX. I did determine from a lot of experiences, a lot of experiments previous to this, that the double F powder worked better than the triple F powder in the accuracy in this particular cartridge and this particular gun. So we're going to try the new bullet with the GoX powder, 36 grains of double F, and then we're going to try it with 36 grains of double F in Old Einsford, which is the premium GoX powder. And then just in case this bullet likes triple F powder, a little finer grain, faster powder, we're going to try Old Einsford in triple F as well. So let's see how this thing goes, and we'll do a little barrel check here and see if we've got this lubricant making it to the end of the barrel. And if it does, then we don't have any worries there. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to find a different bullet that will contain more of the lubricant bullet lube for us. So let's give this thing a try and see how it goes. All right, let's go down and take a look. Well, we're not doing too bad here. We've got a group here that really outperformed that last bullet that we tried in the first 44 Winchester Central Fire video. We've got a real nice group right here. I'm pretty happy with that, especially since it's a new bullet with that 1 grease groove in it. So we'll test and see if that's making it clear to the end, because I don't want that to interfere with the next trial round. We've got 1 flyer right here, and I'm wondering if that's the first shot, and we can check on the video later and see if that's the first shot. Sometimes the very first bullet out of a clean barrel on a black powder firearm is going to shoot differently than the rest of them, because the rest of them are plowing through the fouling. That first one's going through a clean barrel. A lot of times your first shot will be high. So that might be what that is. We'll check the video and see. But we look at these 4, and pretty happy with that. That's a better group than I had the last time out. So let's move to the next round, which would be 36 grains of double F Old Einsford, and see if that powder makes any difference, and and then we'll move on to the last test after that. You wonder how you tell if your bullet lube doesn't make it out to the end of the barrel. And without trying to run a rod through it, it's pretty hard to tell other than watching your accuracy disappear. But if I run a rod down this barrel and I find that there's a lot of resistance toward the end after that bullet lube ran out, it'll be a hard, chalky sort of entrance with this rod and with this patch of solvent, black powder solvent. And I'll know right away, because of the resistance against the patch, that I didn't make it to the end of the barrel with the lubricant. So if it is soft and pasty, kind of like the consistency of toothpaste, all the way from the beginning to end, then I'll know that vaporized lubricant made it all the way out to the end of the barrel. So let's give it a try and see what we've got here, and see if we can find out whether or not there's a lot of resistance towards the end. Yeah, you know, there really isn't. So that would indicate that we're vaporizing all the way out as the bullet exits the barrel. That's a very good sign. That means that we can shoot multiple times, keep that fouling soft, and maintain our accuracy. Anytime you get an accurate repeating rifle that only shoots accurately once, then you got to clean it. Then you've just defeated the purpose of a repeating rifle. I'm just trying to get this down as far as the chamber so I don't lose the patch out the bottom. And yep, we have really no issue with chalky powder residue from the very top all the way to the bottom. So that vaporized lube is making all the way out to the end of the barrel. That's just 5 shots of black powder. That's the world of black powder. It leaves about 50% of its residue behind. And I'm going to run a dry patch down here just to kind of dry up any of that excess solvent that I left down in there. And again, I want to go just as far as the chamber so I don't drop this thing out the bottom and lose my patch. Get it back into the action so I can pull it back out, dry it on 2 directions that way. So get this down there and then pull that dry patch out, and now we're in shape to do our next test. Pretty happy with that performance of the bullet lube. That part of it isn't a factor. We'll see what the next tests will do. So now I'm going to try the old Einsford Double F, same bullet, see if the change in powder makes any difference whatsoever. So I'll load up 5 and we'll do the second test. Alright, so we're taking a look at this second target here. This is with the old Einsford Double F, 36 grains by weight, and it's opened up considerably. We are really throwing some flyers around here. You can see one high. Again, I don't know if that was the first shot because there wasn't a fouling, and didn't do a fouling shot first to prepare the barrel for the others. But the others are high as well, except for the one that's low. So when you take a look at the first group compared to this one, it looks like we might be pushing a little velocity here and potentially speeding the bullet up too much. Just not getting the group that I want out of that particular load. So let's try this third one and see if the Triple F works. I got a feeling that with the faster velocity we're actually losing some accuracy. So but let's give it a try and we'll see what happens. So far, number 1 with the good old GoX Double F seems to be doing the trick. Let's take a look at the third load. Alright, so we're going to try, this is going to be the last test. This is the third test. This is old Einsford Triple F, 36 grains by weight. We'll see what this does. The last test, accuracy started to diminish considerably, and I'm wondering if we had just too much velocity going on. When you have a pretty tight twist and you're trying to stabilize a projectile, a heavyweight projectile, if you go with too much velocity, you'll end up throwing that bullet out the barrel, and it almost skips over the rifling. You'll ledge your barrel up pretty bad because it'll skip over the rifling rather than engaging and turning. I mean, it's turning, but it's also sliding through the rifling. So sometimes you got to slow that bullet down in order to engage the rifling and maintain accuracy. So I'm going to try this last round. We'll see if my prediction is correct, that it might be a little too hot, a little too fast. And if it is, it'll open up that group. But let's try 5 rounds and see. All right, well, here's target number 3. This is with the with the old Einsford Triple F. And true to what I was afraid might happen is that we've got a group that's opening up instead of getting tighter. So as we progress today with faster powder, have a bigger group. This one's probably about 6-7 inches of a group, and this is at 50 yards. And so that definitely isn't the load to use. It doesn't appear that bullet lube is the problem. That's making it to the end of the barrel with the tests that we've done. Velocity might be, or just the powder itself. This powder could work very fine with the different loads. Hard to say. I could play around with it and try less or more to compress it a little bit different and see. But in reality, this one right here with the 36 grains of double F GoX, I'm looking at, besides that flyer, I'm looking at under a 2-inch group. And that is certainly worthy of a little more work, and see what we can do to get the sight on. It's only about 1 inch to the left, and see what it does at 100 yards, and I think I found my round. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully you learned something, and we'll see you next time here with 4-H Western Heritage. Thank you. Uh-oh. There it is.